A Norwegian teacher left a note for a Hebrew video technician. If it is not too much bother, could you please make a cassette of this lesson? Now just imagine you are the technician. What do you think of it?
I think this polite.
Offensive?
I don't know actually.
Okay, now guess what the technician responded. He wrote a note back. When have I ever refused to prepare a recording for you? I'm really surprised at you.
Well, nowadays, more and more second language teachers and learners have noticed the importance of building up communicative competence. That is, the capacity to communicate effectively. Apart from how to make sentence grammatically right, and many other principles were set up to make the learner more communicative, like the principle of cooperative, irony, and politeness. In this video, we're going to focus on the second language acquisition of politeness to explore whether the second language learners can apply the rules of politeness properly in their real life contexts and realize effective communication.
As an L2 learner myself, when I was in primary school, my teacher always told me to use please and past tense to show my politeness to make people feel better. In the grammar book, it can be true. However, is it always the case?
Well, I think the answer is no. Sometimes being too polite can make people feel impolite. Just like the example at the very beginning, the teacher was trying to show her politeness when making a request, but surprisingly, the local technician was feeling offended. The failure occurred probably because they have different social norms. So we can see that as a second language learner, the set of politeness strategies that we learn from the traditional textbook does not always work well in our real life conditions. We're trying to use politeness to make the communication more effective. But sometimes it runs counter to what we had expected.
L2 learners are the outsiders of a particular social context. They lack the intuition of choosing the proper speech style. Noticing those shortcomings, many researchers began to develop this politeness model from different theoretical aspects. One of them is language socialization. It explores how initial language learners can build a bridge between context of situation and linguistic and socio-cultural practice. The context of situation, as Politeness defined in 1935, refers to the interest in verbal acts, activities, turns, sequences, etc. And talking about the politeness based on language socialization, Durrani and Goodwin considered it as a dynamic concept instead of a static one. That is to say, the rules of politeness are varied in different social contexts. So, are there any elective ways for L2 learners to grasp these diverse rules? There might be an answer for this.
Yeah. Well, if the second language learners want to succeed in applying the rules of politeness properly in their real life contexts, it can be crucial for them to understand and grasp the politeness strategies. There are two main politeness strategies, the positive politeness and negative politeness, which were developed by the Penelope Brown and Steve Levinson and their work on politeness in 1987. Positive politeness refers to the appealing to addresses desire for solidarity and approval from others, such as the desire to be ratified, understood, approved of, liked, or admired, while negative politeness involves appealing to the address's desire to be free from imposition, while maintaining the claims of the hearer's territories and self-determination.
When L2 learners are interacting in social situations, they need to decide which strategy to use based on different factors such as their relationships with the interlocutors, the local cultural norms, and the context of the conversation. Theoretically speaking, according to scholars, three factors can affect it: politeness strategy options, power, distance, and weight of imposition. It can be obvious to see that finding the right balance between these two strategies is essential to convey politeness and maintain effective communication across various cultures and social settings.
So here comes two questions. Is it easy or challenging for the second language learners to acquire these strategies? And after acquiring these rules, are they able to use the politeness strategies as correctly and effectively as the native language users? I would have to say that According to many previous research findings, the second language learners demonstrate fewer resources and appropriateness when using the polite languages in various social contexts than the native language users.
Under this circumstance, it will be essential to figure out what factors that may contribute to the success or struggles of L2 learners in acquiring politeness strategies. For example, according to the findings by Marriott in 2012, L2 learners face struggles when using proper Japanese addressee honorific because of the lack of utilization experiences in real life, sufficient output and practice, and corrective feedback from their interlocutors. Many other factors can also affect the acquisitions of politeness strategies among L2 learners, such as length of exposure to authentic language using context, L2 learners' cultural background, and motivation.
Yeah, by identifying and addressing these factors, the educators can better teach the second language learners, and mastering these strategies in the right way. Luckily, many previous studies have provided many teaching pedagogies, such as the awareness scaffolding, role plays, elicited imitations, and other communicative activities to help them construct their knowledge and awareness of politeness. And these teaching activities encourage the second language learners to think critically about the analysis of the politeness strategies and also enable them to internalize these strategies in different contexts for successful communication.
Now we'll be looking at the application of politeness and formality in real-life situations like formal and informal contexts. Formal settings include business communication, meetings, and email interactions. And for informal settings, they involve asking directions on the street, buying a cup of coffee in a coffee shop, and asking your friend for help. We're going to explore whether L2 learners use the appropriate politeness strategies in different settings.
Now we're reconstructing two real-life conversations. Scenario 1, we're in a coffee shop.
Can I get you some more coffee, sir?
Who is stopping you?
Oh, you want to stop me?
Oh no, just bring me the damn coffee.
Okay, now the second scenario. We're writing an email to the boss for a second chance of interview.
I would be grateful if, under the circumstances, you would grant me another interview.
Would you please give me one more chance for me? Please give me one more chance of the interview.
From the two examples, we can see that sometimes it is not always possible for the second language learners to choose the proper politeness strategies in some real-life situations.
In this case, L2 learners may face challenges and limitations in acquiring politeness strategies due to internal and external factors. Internal factors are individual differences, such as language aptitude, sensitivity to certain contexts, personality, and motivation. External factors are teaching pedagogies, cultural divergence, and feedback from interlocutors. All of these elements can impede the L2 learner's acquisition and application of politeness.
Yeah, well, to wrap it up, nailing these skills is super important for the second language learners if they want to thrive in all sorts of social situations. But it seems that not all of them can acquire authentic and complete politeness strategies in their learning process and apply these strategies properly in real-life situations. So, we encourage future research of teaching methods to help them construct more effective knowledge of politeness and formality and develop a more capable of communicative competence to succeed in various communication settings. Thank you.
Thank you.